Welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm Gary, and this, as you all know, is not David. Hey, so I just wanted to hop on real quick. Dave and I are going to do some more readings tonight, so those will come out on Friday and Saturday. But I wanted to do a quick solo here. As you know, the last solo I did was related to the signs that were coming to the end of the Trump era. And that video, I knew it was going to do well. I had no idea how well it was going to do. So thank you all for watching it. We're over 80,000 views right now. I mean, typically a good video for David and I on the twin channel is about 10,000 views. So this one's really struck a note with everyone. And what's interesting about those types of videos is it gets beyond our little echo chamber that we have with our little group here, and it gets out to people who don't normally see this channel, which also includes a lot of folks that are MAGA orientated. I don't know how this gets on their feed, but I guess the word Trump shows up in the YouTube algorithm and says, hey, you like to watch things about Trump, you'll like this video. Needless to say, many of them don't like the video. I got a number of comments. As you know, they were all very positive and supportive from our MAGA friends. Basically, in a nutshell, let's see, that I'm biased, I'm stacking the deck, that I'm supporting people who have a sexual interest in children. They spell it as PD, like police department, PD files. And then I'm basically clueless and dumb. Okay, fine. This channel might not be the best channel for someone who's MAGA orientated. David would have a more spicy way of telling them to F the hell off, right? I'm not quite as spicy as my brother. But the message I want to come out today with is just the importance of being kind, the importance of being compassionate, and the importance of being understanding. I think I only blocked one or two of the really nasty posters. A lot of them, they got a compassionate, slightly snarky, thank you for your thoughtful comment. Your comment reminds me of how it's important to be kind, how kindness costs nothing but can really have a positive impact on someone's life. A subtle dig and a hint that, you don't have to agree with me, and maybe what I say is so off that you need to comment. But at the same time, we can agree to disagree. The challenge I see is that the Republicans and MAGA are not the enemy per se. I know there's a lot of you like, what do you mean they're not the enemy? Of course they are. Okay, remember, I'm a registered Republican. I have been since 1983. I still am. But there's been a lot of manipulation going on behind the scenes with corporate media and Trump and the oligarchs to make sure we're playing off of each other, that we're seeing each other as the enemy. I mean, MAGA is being told that all the Democrats are a bunch of pedophiles. I mean, that we're corrupt and that the Democrats are stealing the election. All that nonsense that Trump brings up in his campaign. They're being sold this and fed this consistently since 2016. 2015, really, if you want to count the run up to the presidency, right? They've had a steady diet of this for 10 years. And of course, they're going to believe it. All the people that they trust are telling them that this is the truth. Likewise, on our side, that Trump and MAGA, they're a bunch of fascists. They don't love America. They're ignorant. They're uneducated. And, in some cases, I can put a pretty sound argument that, those are actually fairly justified criticisms. But, at the end of the day, no one in this audience or in the MAGA crowd is going to deny certain fundamental truths. One, if we're going to pay tax dollars, we want our government to spend those tax dollars efficiently, effectively. They don't want to see waste. They don't want to see fraud. We want our borders secure. We don't want it just this fluid border where anyone could come in and create mayhem, right? The problem is that a lot of the political establishment and the corporate media is putting fear out there. My wife was in North Carolina watching the news with someone, a relative of hers who has more of a Republican bent than I do, for example. And they were watching Fox News, and she was telling me how Fox News had this tracker showing how many murders were committed by undocumented immigrants. And her friend is like, "You don't know about this?" And they were talking about some murder of some college kid that got killed by an illegal alien. How do you not know about this? And it's just like, why is this even on a national news program, right? The simple reason is it doesn't need to be. But Fox News is decided this is the best way to keep their base in fear and to support this tightening of the borders and vilifying immigrants. And so for 10 years, they've been fed this. And they've got this tracker, and it's funny because I thought, well, are illegal immigrants guilty of more crimes than non-illegal immigrants? So I just did a quick Google search, and there was a study out of Texas that said actually folks that are in the United States illegally have half the crime rate of the folks that were born and raised here, right? It's actual citizens. And of course, Fox News isn't going to tell them that. Why would you tell them that when you could put this tracker on there that shows how many people they killed? So they don't have another tracker. It's like, well, how many people were killed by non-illegal immigrants? By people who were citizens of the United States. You don't want that out there. I mean, my God, why would you want to have a comparison or a fair news balance, right? You wouldn't want that unless you're trying to stoke fear. And that's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to divide us and make us hate on each other instead of really kind of getting to the underlying issue is who's the real enemy here? The real enemy are the oligarchs and the corporate media who have everything to benefit by keeping us divided. There's 300 million of us, and there's only a handful of them. It's only a matter of time before everyone wakes up and stops hating on each other and realizes who the true enemy is and focus their attention on them. And that's probably the end result of the end of the Trump era, is we kind of wake up and we finally realize that we've been played. All right. Now, having said that, I think the Democrats are on much better territory for this than MAGA, but MAGA will get there. The leopards are going to get tired. They're going to get tired of the leopards eating their faces, and they're going to come around. If I do have a bias, it's my unbridled optimism and willingness to believe in the best in people. So if you have a criticism of how I read cards and you want to say that, well, fair enough. I also I want to talk about a question that Blind Squirrel had asked me, which was, did I feel like there was really millions and billions of dollars in corruption out there in the government? And in my response to her, I said, well, basically, I don't believe that's the case. Is it possible? Sure. I don't have an issue with Trump wanting to audit the government. Government agencies that get millions and billions of dollars. Yeah, you should be auditing them. You should be making sure that everything's on the up and up. And the problem is that Trump doesn't necessarily have a bad idea, or even like securing the borders. Securing the borders isn't a bad idea. The problem is that it's like he comes up with the absolute worst way to address that problem and then goes full steam ahead executing it in that way. So, if you want to audit the Department of the Treasury and make sure the monies are being spent, fine. There's a team of auditors ready to go, I'm sure, in the federal government. why do you need Musk and his merry band of 20-year-olds hacking into the computer system at night over a weekend, and then either arresting or not arresting, firing or putting on administrative leave anyone who steps in their way to prevent them from accessing this information? And of course, now the courts are finally starting to catch up and putting cease and desist. But man, oh man, it's like, oh, Elon, you can't keep that information. You must delete it. Yeah, right. That genie got out of the bottle a long time ago. So I don't necessarily have an issue at the 30,000 foot view of what some of the things he wants to do. I have a huge issue from a tactical standpoint. This is not how you do it. And Trump's basically giving a middle finger to convention and saying, this is what I'm going to do. What are you going to do to stop me? And I think that's what's causing a lot of the frustration, at least that I'm feeling, is that, there's a right way and a wrong way. And not only does he try and pick the wrong way, he tries to find the worst version of the wrong way to do it. Oh, you're unhappy with your trade partners with Canada and Mexico? Instead of being an adult in the room and negotiating, you already negotiated the free trade agreement once. Obviously, you didn't like how you negotiated it, so you could always negotiate it again. But what does he do? He just slaps tariffs on them because that's the most effective way of doing it. It's like the 10-year-old approach instead of the adult approach, and that's one of my biggest issues is that Trump actually could be a pretty decent president because he's willing to challenge the status quo, but he does it in the worst possible ways that you can imagine. And then, just lies and cheats and steals his way to justify and support his point of view. And it's not treating the rest of us like adults and treating us like we're misbehaving children that need to be punished. So I want to come out and kind of share that. And then let's take a quick reading. I wasn't necessarily going to throw the tarot cards. I've got them here. Look, I'm shuffling them because that's the other thing I was accused of stacking the deck. I mean, come on. Seriously? Yeah. Here, I'll even film myself shuffling these cards. Oh my God. This is why I don't film it, because I have to do it in thirds. These cards are really stiff and really thick, and I always have to shuffle them in thirds. It's really, really bad. So let's just take a look and say, at the end of the Trump era, will the Republicans and Democrats come together and recognize that the Democrats and the Republican citizens aren't the enemy. The enemy are the oligarchs and corporate media who are trying to manipulate us. Entertainment purposes only. Okay, foundational reading is temperance. Yeah, we've achieved a balance. It's about, balancing your emotions. In some ways, forgiveness for past transgressions, finding inner peace. We're going to, this is a big major arcana. We're going to find our way to the light. The cross challenges the celebration. Corporate media, oligarchs celebrating for how much money they've made and how they've been able to successfully manipulate us. Okay. Now, some of you could say, "Oh, Gary, you're being biased." Well, if you're going to accept this as the logical foundation of the reading, what would be the challenge to that? The challenge would be the oligarchs. It's not the main voters. It's the people that are manipulating us, that are enjoying the benefits and enjoying this. Underneath it all is the Four of Wands. Both parties coming together and saying we are not going to fight anymore. We are going to celebrate this. There's a lot of celebration going on in these cards. That's encouraging. In the past, we had the Empress. This could be read a couple ways. This could be, for example, the prosperity of the United States historically and all the things of value it has brought to its citizens and to the world. It could also be the prosperity that the oligarchs have been enjoying at the benefit of the citizens of the United States. Current energy is a chariot. We're not going back. We're moving forward. We're not going to play the games that you've had us play in the past. Overarching energy, the Six of Cups, that nostalgia card. Remember when we could be kind to each other? Remember when we could agree and not fight and just be generous and thoughtful? You know, this is your thoughtful, compassionate, and understanding card. Lesson to be learned, the Tower. Yeah, that we were being manipulated, and that eventually that was built on a foundation that had to crumble. This is what needs to happen. The crumbling of the oligarchies, the biased news media. Trump wasn't necessarily wrong about fake news. I think what it's more accurate is biased news. And now with the advent of the internet and social media, there is a lot of fake news out there in AI. But all of this is going to come crashing down. That was the lesson. This is what needs to happen. This is why we're going through all of this crap, is because corporate media and the oligarchs have to be taken out. That's what needed to be addressed. And at the end, we start a new journey with the Fool. It's, the positive is, hey, we're on a new journey. We're on a new path. We're starting a new beginning. So this is what it's going to look like after the Trump era is done. We will be together as one again. Now, there's no timing in this. I mean, wouldn't it be lovely if it was March of 2025, right? But honestly, show of hands, how many people think MAGA is already ready to join with the Democrats and understand that they're being manipulated by the oligarchs, right? I mean, they think that we're being manipulated by our news sources, and maybe to a certain degree, they're right. We have to challenge everything that's being thrown at us, not just the stuff that we want to believe in, but we need the same from them, right? So that's what I've got for you. If you are a MAGA Republican and you want to throw shade on me because I'm biased and that I clearly don't know what I'm doing, hey, go ahead. You know what? The worst I'm going to do is just hide your comment. Maybe the worst I'll do is I'll respond to your comment. So I just really do want to thank all of you out there who've watched this or who have watched our videos in the past. I really, truly appreciate you. It's a hard time right now. I'm not going to lie. I'm not happy about what we're having to go through. I can't believe I signed up to be in this timeline. But this is the gift I have, the gift I can give. David gives you the spicy chips. I give you kind of the mild chips, right? So between the two of us, you get a little spicy, you get a little mild. Hopefully at the end of the day, that's enough to kind of get everyone calmed down and thinking slightly bigger picture than maybe we would otherwise think. But I truly appreciate all of you out there. And this whole week we've been kind of giving thanks to people who have been supportive in the comments, and we will continue to do that with the videos that come out Friday and Saturday. I've actually got a list of people as I go through the comments, jotting down the names that I recognize. So if you don't get called out or shouted out, I'll get to you eventually. just keep throwing comments out there. I do read them all, and I really appreciate it. And then Dr. Lita Rodriguez left a comment for the first time in our comment section, which I was absolutely thrilled to see that. Libby's in the comment sections very frequently. Marina sometimes shows up in the comments. She's definitely shows up for the live shows that Dave and I do. Sherry from Voices from the Swamp is also in the comments. So just, these are some of the readers that we watch each other and we support each other's channels. And I really just want to thank all of them for the support that they've given Dave and I over the years. Linda G, who had us on her show. Dave and I have been trying to get together with her, at least, if nothing else, just for lunch. And maybe we'll do some sort of collaboration with her. We've talked to Libby a little bit about preliminary trying to get together. I know Libby doesn't typically do collaborations, so if she's willing to do it, great. If she's not comfortable doing it, I totally understand, but we'll follow up and see if we can make that happen. But just thank you all for being there. I really appreciate it. And today's ending secret card is the Ace of Wands. It's, that new passions, new beginnings, taking new actions. We're gonna move forward. We're gonna get through this, and we're gonna move forward. And it's gonna be the beginning of the real golden age. We're not in the golden age right now. We're in the gold plate age. And as soon as you scratch the surface, you realize it's gold plate over zinc or something, copper, some other metal that's not nearly as valuable. But we are going to the golden age. It's just going to take a little more time. We're going to have a little more fight in front of us, but we'll get there. And then it will be that age of understanding, compassion, and kindness that we're all looking forward to, and we're just thirsting for at this point. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, and I will catch you midnight tonight with my brother. Take care, everyone. Bye.